This is not relating. This is not related to any of the topic we have been discussing. It's a question
related to the one which we studied today. This the first shloka, the Munaya Sarve Param Siddhim Itaha Gataha. This Gataha is different from what the Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas after death Gata, right?
Correct. Which shloka is that?
The first shloka, Sri Bhagavan Vacha. So
Right.
the Munaya Sarve Siddhim Itaha Gataha. From here, detour. That is what it means, right?
So, Parambhuya Pravakshami Jnananam Jnanam Uttamam. Jnananam Jnanam Uttamam. Uttamam Jnanam. Uttamam Jnanam has to be Brahma Vidya. Okay? Yad Jnatma, having known that Munaya Sarve Param Siddhim Itaha Gataha. Means what? The people who have gained moksha, all right, gained siddhi. Here siddhi refers to moksha. Itaha. What did we say there? Itaha, did I also say Jivan Mukti?
It said,
Itaha Gata. It is only referring to jnanis though. Short
yeah.
answer. Your question is referring to jnanis.
From here, no detour. Jivan Mukti is here. That's what.
That's it. So that's it. So that gati is not the gati we are talking about.
Because Swamiji's translation says from this body. So I thought it's not death. It's something to do with here. From this body, you get that mukti. That's what. Because Swamiji's translation says all the sages had reached the ultimate success, which is release from this body.
Release from this body. So itaha means asmin dehat gataha. Mat dehat gataha. So from this body they are released. Means what?
They are free from gunas. That's what he's trying to say.
No guna, nothing. Nothing connected to guna. From this, they got Jivan Mukti. They got Jivan Mukti. And therefore, Videha Mukti also. I don't know if I mentioned Videha Mukti there at that time. But we can bring in Videha Mukti. Jivan Mukti while alive. Videha Mukti after death. Gataha. That's what it means there. Nothing to do with. Because there it's referring to Jnani. This Gati is referring to other people who are not yet.
So I think there Jnatva is important, knowing which.
Yeah. And then Jnanam Uttamam also.
Connected with this, in this 14th sloka, Thato Uttama Vidam Lokan. Uttama Vid is not referring to Jnani.
See, that's what I'm saying. Uttama Vidam, it can't refer to a Jnani.
Here it may not be because of the context.
No, it won't. Yeah, it won't. Correct. Not referring to a Jnani.
Otherwise,
what's the question?
Otherwise, Uttama Vid refers to Jnani. In this context, it may not be.
It is not, it may not be, it is not. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It is not, it does not.
But generally, can we take Uttama Vid to be a Jnani?
I have not seen that word referring to it. I have not seen Shankara saying it or Shastram saying it anyway. Uttama Vid. Have you heard it? I mean, we also have been studying now for 5 years with us.
Brahmavid, it's always referred as Jnani, no? Brahmavid is referred to.
Yeah. Brahmavid, definitely it stands for Jnani, Brahmavid.
So Brahmavid, Atmavid and all we say. But
yeah. He is already Praptavan, Brahmam Praptavan.
If we say Uttama itself, there are gradations. I don't think a Brahmavid will have any gradations, right?
True. But we never know. Shastram can. They use a word and implying that something that you don't think, you can't guess. It's possible. So we can't give a blanket statement like that. So Rukminiji's question is okay. The sense somewhere somebody could have used the word uttama with for a jnani. So, but here it does not mean jnani. That's the most important.
Yes, go ahead, Meera. Sorry to interrupt because I was having the doubt when we started chanting. So I wanted to clear it. Thank you.
I just thought about it when we heard this Apadama Pahartaram Bhuya Bhuya. That also says again Bhuya Pravakshami. I'll say.
There it is Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham. Again and again I worship. I prostrate. That is okay.
Yeah. Bhuyaha. Nice word. Param bhuya pravakshyami. Good. So we will stop with that. Any other questions? Narayanji, so Narayan Kamath is there, and he's this one leadership coach, and Narayanji. I looked up. I googled you. Let me be honest. I googled you some 2 weeks, 1 week ago, or something like. And then your name came up, narayankamath.org or com or something like that. And so he has a great website, and one I think even 2 websites, I think 3 maybe. And he's into what he just said, which is he's a consultant, he's a leadership coach, and you should look up his website. It's amazing. It's talking about avoid.
For the first 10, 12 years of my own career, I used to think management was managers were a waste of resources, right? That the actual work was done by, engineers and technicians and so on. That management was a friction in the system. That was my sincere belief. And so I resisted many opportunities for, becoming a manager in my first 12 years. And then, one of our senior leaders, mentored me and showed me what is possible. I mean, I was just thinking about my impact is going to be greater if I contribute, through my skills. She helped me see that, I could also deliver through others, work through others, and that would actually multiply my impact. And that's when I agreed to try out being a manager and all that. At that time, I was exposed to a lot of leadership development opportunities, including training and working with a coach. I found that very fascinating, and I continued with that. That really became something that was very interesting for me. And subsequently, I had the thought, if I could multiply my impact by working through others, I could multiply my impact, or the total impact would be even greater if I could help other managers work better through others. And that's when I decided to get onto this journey. So it took time. It was a very scary thought to leave, a stable career in engineering in big companies and start something on my own. But I finally found the courage to do so. It took 25. I mean, I worked for 25 years before I did this, so it took time. But yeah.
Right. And so, do you now end up traveling sometimes? You have to travel also, be at the customer site, right?
Yes. So I do that, but it's much less these days, except the in-person workshops are there, but much of the coaching happens virtually now, Zoom or MS Teams, etc. So much less than before the pandemic. People are more open to these virtual engagements. Otherwise, it had to be in person. Now, most coaching is done virtually, but the training usually is done in person. We have these full day workshops, and those are done in person.
So your typical engagement, how many days, and over how much time, and how many people, etc.
So it depends. If it is one-on-one coaching, if it's one-on-one coaching for a leader who is in transition, right? I mean, a leader moving from one role into a broader role, for example. So they need to understand, what's changing for them, etc. Those are one-on-one sessions, and these happen once in 2 weeks or once in 3 weeks over a period of 6 months minimum. More typically over a year or so. That is one-on-one coaching. Sometimes we get to participate in these, companies have these plans for leadership pipelines, right? So they will pick a batch of people, say 10 people, 20 people, and they will go through a structured program, which includes skill building, that is through these training workshops, etc., and one-on-one coaching. So that is, that is more structured, that is more time bound. The other ones are usually for depending on the need of the individual leader.
And those individuals who take, do they come by themselves on their own accord, or is it also supported by the?
Very rarely do people come on their own accord. It's usually, the companies who, are supporting them. Yeah. Very rarely. I think the people who I worked with as individuals are mostly people who own a business, and they are looking for their own because they don't get the opportunity from within the organization. So they're business owners who want to try and take their leadership to it. They want to lead differently. So those are the individuals I end up working with. Otherwise, it's all organizationally sponsored.
I see. Excellent. So, I got a notice about a couple of weeks ago, invitation to not coach or anything, attend this IIT Kharagpur. Since I spoke there, they said, they're conducting some week long or something like that at IIT for the one division of the government of India, some NIC or something. Om Namo Bhagavate. Om Namo Bhagavate Dhanvantaraye. What is it? Vasudevaya.
अमृत कलशास्त्र है.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya. That word I missed. That's why I off the track. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalashahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanadhaya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha.